Imagine surviving death. You wake up in a sterile room, the beeping of machines, the only proof that you are still here. And then you take a breath and it feels different, not just because of surgery, but because the air tastes a bit strange. Then later, you go home, you're hungry, but you don't want your favorite meal. You are suddenly overcome with a craving for a food that you've never actually liked. You close your eyes and dream memories you never lived. You feel emotions, grief, rage, even love that just don't belong to your past. Now, imagine being told those feelings might belong to the person whose organ is keeping you alive.
Okay, stop. This is not a medical procedure, and this is a haunted house situation, except the house is you.
And you don't get to move out. You're just alive because of it.
Well, tonight we aren't just talking about survival. We're talking about organ transplant recipients who report something deeply, deeply unsettling. They didn't just receive life, they received echoes. And that to me is actually quite fucking terrifying if you think about it.
Yeah, especially if you don't know a lot about the person that you're getting those echoes from, what they were like, or what kind of habits or even psychosis they might have had.
Yeah,
I was,
for sure.
I was actually just telling Duffy one that I had found out about that actually gave me this idea. And that is, there was a guy who got a heart transplant and, he got it. It was successful. It worked well and everything went well. And as he healed, he noticed changes, same kind of thing, food cravings and other things. But he wanted to give a gift to the widow of the person who, gave him that heart. And if I remember right, he had done the whole heartbeat in a bear recording style thing. And when he first laid eyes on what would be his heart's literal ex, he immediately just felt attached, immediately in love. He
That's
had never met,
crazy.
he had never met this woman, never spoken to her, and just wanted to give her a gift that he felt would bring her comfort and joy. So he divorces his wife and ends up marrying the wife of the person who gave him his heart.
That is so wild.
Oh, but that's just the beginning. So down the road, he starts with, other habits. I can't remember if smoking was part of it or not, but just, little habits here and there, taste for things. But then an odd feeling of being incomplete set in, of being, I don't know, just something not being right, something not being great, something not being enjoyable. And I guess he thought the only way out was a shotgun to the head. So not only did that poor lady lose two husbands, but they both deteriorated with depression in the exact same way and time frame
Oh,
and
no.
ended their lives in the exact same way. Yeah. And with that, I would like to welcome you all back to Helheim. Tonight, we look at the phenomena known as cellular memory. Now, it is a controversial theory that organs, specifically the heart, may retain emotional or experiential information, passing it from donor to host.
It sounds impossible, but we're taught that you are in your brain. Medically, memory is supposed to live there, but we forget that the heart is complex, has its own intrinsic nervous system, and we're talking about over 40,000 neurons.
Wait, 40,000? So you're saying the heart has enough brain cells to gossip?
I'm saying it might remember more than we're comfortable admitting. Think about it. We know trauma is stored in the body. We know adrenaline encodes memory. If the heart's a chemical engine for emotion, why wouldn't it hold on to a residue?
It is a question that science struggles to answer, but when people across decades from different countries, different backgrounds, all report the exact same kinds of changes, I don't know about you guys, but to me, that's a coincidence starting to feel just a wee bit thin.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, you can't just have a bunch of people going through the same thing and, over decades across the planet. And, oh, yeah, no, that's just a big old coinkydink. Now, let's look at the case of Claire Sylvia. So, in the late 1980s, she underwent a heart and lung transplant. It was a massive surgery, but the real shock came during recovery.
Almost immediately after the surgery, Claire reported sudden, intense cravings, specifically beer and chicken nuggets, which, same.
Yeah, okay, hold on though. I can explain this. So, the craving, I can explain. Hospital food messes with you. You basically spend months eating flavorless gelatin. You're gonna want nuggets. That's just being human.
I mean, sure, that's a valid skepticism until those cravings line up with the donor's preferences. Claire didn't just want food, she wanted food specifically that she disliked before. And it wasn't just a taste. She experienced vivid dreams of a young man she didn't recognize. She felt like a presence.
That is pretty intense. And Claire documented these changes publicly and consistently. She even learned the identity of her donor. It was a young man who loved beer, loved chicken nuggets, and died very violently.
But see, that's the part that gets me though. She didn't claim that she was possessed. She didn't claim any proof. She claimed that something changed.
Exactly. She was just reporting symptoms, not like ghost stories.
That's almost worse if you think about it. If she was trying to sell a book, I'd get it, but she's not trying to convince anybody. She's just confused.
I mean, I could see where a lot of people would assume, like, oh, for this to happen, I gotta be possessed, or gotta have this going on, or there's gotta be a demon or some shit. But what all do we know about how the body works, how feelings work, how cravings work, how anything works? We're told, oh, it's just you like those things because that's what you're drawn towards. What if there's more to it? What if it is something that's part biological? And that's
Yeah.
what's allowing this to transfer.
We learned so much about medicine just year by year. I mean, think about just like 100 years ago, they prescribed cocaine. So, take that how you will.
Yeah.
Maybe 50 years from now, we'll have a deeper understanding of this. And there's something that ties, your actual organ flesh to physical cravings and things of that nature.
Yeah, I think we need to do some more exploring on, our bodies and what they're actually capable of, because we still really have no fucking idea. Now, if you found Claire's story intriguing, the next case is pretty heartbreaking. Now we turn to Sonny Graham.
This case is heavy. Sonny received a heart transplant from a man named Terry Cottle. Terry had died by suicide.
Grateful for his second chance, Sonny reached out to the donor's family. He met Terry's widow. They fell in love. Sonny eventually married her. Holy fuck, this is the one I was talking about.
Oh my god, is it?
Yes.
That's just kind of complicated if you're like, honestly, if you think about it, but I guess it's romance in a fucked up way.
I don't think it's romance. I feel like it's like a tragedy. Years later, after marrying the woman his donor loved, Sonny Graham also died by suicide in almost the exact same manner.
That's disturbing even without it being paranormal.
And to be clear, there's no evidence the transplant caused this. We have to be responsible here. Mental health, trauma, and the stress of being a survivor, these things also matter. So there's probably external matters at play.
There very well could be, but all in all, the emotional parallels made this case a focal point in discussions of identity and inheritance. I mean, two men, one heart, one woman, and the exact same tragic end. I mean, it's a little much.
It is very, very bizarre.
Let me ask you guys something though, because what I'm seeing is like the last couple of cases, the person they got him the donation from was either like a violent death or like a suicide. Do you think that caption, that little glimpse of I don't know how to explain it. Do you think mentally that affects the organs that are being transplanted? I know it sounds dumb the way I'm saying it. Someone put this in a more scientific way for me.
Well, this isn't scientific, but kind of like meat tenderizing.
Yeah, where you can taste the fucking fear.
I don't know if it's something that I read that was just, hoopla put on the internet, but I feel like I read about people dying of literal heartbreak. Like there's a physiological component of the heart called the heartstring that will snap from being upset due to emotional stress. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense
You
that
think like the emotional stress kind of like snapshots the organs into that one like default setting?
yeah. And if we're, diving a little deeper into the paranormal side of it, there's also just the whole theory that people that come to a traumatic end, that echo plays out in like reality over and over again. If it could tie to like a physical item like an organ, I don't see why not.
Well, and I mean, again, these aren't isolated incidents. Researchers have documented transplant recipients reporting new fears, tastes, and even habits that defy explanation.
We see examples like sudden paralyzing fear of water appearing in people who receive organs from drowning victims, or someone with zero creative interest suddenly developing an artistic obsession only to find out their donor was a painter.
That's not vague personality drift. That's specific. I feel happier is vague. I'm suddenly terrified of lakes is specific.
That specificity is what keeps this conversation alive in medical and psychological circles. It suggests that biological material might carry data, not just functions.
Seeing again, that's okay. Hear me out. Hear me out. Now, this is just going out on a limb and adding something slightly goofy to talk about. Kind of. Maybe it's real. But what if this is all just proof of the simulation? Because computers carry data.
So we're computers?
Maybe.
I don't want to be an NPC.
That's too damn bad.
We're all a bunch of NPCs and QRCs and ATVs.
I want to be a USB.
I've been told I'm an SOB.
Oh, no.
OMG. All right.
Oh, God. Now, of course, where there is mystery, there is also typically myth. You may have heard stories of transplant recipients dreaming murder details that, I don't know, solved crimes.
Yeah, I've seen that in movies. It's always a spooky flashback and then boom, police arrest the guy.
Right. These stories are not reliably verified. We include them here as modern myths growing from a real phenomenon. It's like folklore.
Honestly, the real case doesn't need exaggeration. A guy loves his dead donor's wife and dies the same way. That's scary enough. We don't need detective stuff for this.
That's true.
Spooky.
Yeah, that's just right front and fucking center. Like, pow, right in the kisser. But let's try a different direction. So, is it real? Or is it the mind trying to make sense of trauma? Skeptics do cite medication effects, trauma, and identity shock as possibilities.
Immunosuppressants are heavy drugs. They alter your mood, and psychologically, knowing someone died for you to live, that's a massive identity crisis. It's heavy.
But
those explanations fit some cases, but not all. Drugs don't make you like chicken nuggets you hated yesterday, and trauma doesn't give you the ability to paint, unless you're, Picasso or something.
At some point, coincidence stops feeling like coincidental. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can definitely understand that one. And historically, we are the outliers for not believing it. I mean, many cultures have believed memory lived throughout the body, not just the head.
Maybe modern medicine dismisses something too fast. We treat the heart like a pump. Maybe it's a hard drive.
Simulation.
Mm-hmm. USB.
Thinking like Avatar, how they all plug into the tree.
I like that. That's a more calming way to look at it.
No, you just like fucking oh God, no.
I don't want to be a bunch of zeros and ones.
Oh yeah, you're getting matrixed. You're getting matrixed.
No, I want to be
sky.
I want to be sky people.
Skull.
I want to be sky people not wearing tight black leather suits.
Nope, you get black leather.
You know what? Let me run that back. I was thinking about Blade. My bad.
When do I get my dragon?
No dragon.
Boo.
No dragon, boo, no dragon anything. Now, one question I do have is, if this is true, if organs carry memory, then does that mean that death doesn't completely erase us?
It changes the deal, doesn't it? You just don't inherit life. You inherit echoes.
And if that idea forces us to rethink identity itself, if I am just a collection of memories and I put a piece of you inside me, who am I now?
That is a very excellent question, actually.
I don't like that.
I mean, there is a fuck ton of factors, but I don't know how I would feel if, I woke up one day, few months after a heart transplant, and all of a sudden I liked nothing but fucking green beans coated in tartar sauce. Some weird shit.
Oof, that's a rough choice.
I'm just picturing this like
And then,
dystopian future where like the rich and elites hunt down artists and talented people and steal their organs and to become better people, you know?
That's a great movie idea, actually. I'd watch that.
Write that down.
that is
Trademark.
under
Trademark.
that is under the LLC. It's protected.
We'll call it Body Snatch Hers.
Ayo.
Ah.
No, but it is unfortunate that we may never know for sure what passes between the dead and the living in the operating room. Every transplant saves a life, but some may pass along a little bit of something else.
Maybe we never fully leave.
Maybe parts of us keep beating somewhere else.
This has been Tales from Helheim. Sleep well, and remember, the body may forget, but the heart always remembers.